Have you ever looked at the clock and realized it was already midnight, then said to yourself, I'll sleep tomorrow? It sounds harmless. One night, one deadline, one exam, one more episode, one more project. After all, what's the worst that could happen? You'll just be a little tired, right? That's the lie almost everyone believes. Because the most dangerous thing about an all-nighter isn't that it makes you sleepy. It's that it makes you believe your brain is working normally, when it already isn't. Your thoughts still feel like your own. Your decisions still feel logical. Your confidence may even grow. But hour by hour, your brain quietly begins changing the way it works. Not because it's weak, because it was never designed to stay awake all night. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans didn't stay awake until sunrise to finish presentations or study for exams. If someone was awake all night, something was wrong. There was danger nearby, a predator, a fire, a storm. Your brain still carries that ancient programming. It doesn't know you're trying to be productive. It only knows one thing. Night has arrived, and you're refusing to sleep. Stay with me, because over the next few hours, your brain will go through a series of changes that most people never notice until they've already made bad decisions, forgotten important information, or completely lost control of their emotions. Let's start at around 9 p.m. You still feel fine. You've had dinner. You've made some coffee. Your laptop is open. Your notebook is full of plans. You tell yourself, this is where I'll finally catch up. At first, you're probably right. For a little while, you can still focus. You answer emails. You solve problems. You memorize information. Nothing seems wrong. That's because your brain doesn't shut down the moment the sun disappears. Instead, it gives you time. It begins preparing for sleep long before you actually fall asleep. As the sky gets darker, special cells inside your eyes notice the change in light. They quietly send a message to your brain's internal clock. Night has begun. Within minutes, your brain starts releasing melatonin. Many people call it the sleep hormone, but melatonin doesn't force you to sleep. It simply tells your body that recovery should begin. Your body temperature slowly drops. Your muscles begin relaxing. Your brain starts reducing unnecessary activity. It's preparing for maintenance, because that's what sleep really is. Maintenance. While you're asleep, your brain repairs itself. It strengthens useful memories, removes unnecessary information, repairs tiny cellular damage caused throughout the day, and prepares you to think clearly tomorrow. None of those repairs happen because you're lying in bed. They happen because your brain finally has time to stop reacting and start rebuilding. Tonight, that rebuilding never begins. Instead, you make another cup of coffee. You keep reading, keep typing, keep scrolling. You think you're buying extra hours. Your brain sees something different. It sees a repair schedule that's been cancelled. Every minute you stay awake pushes that maintenance further away. At first, the cost feels invisible. Then another system quietly joins the fight. Throughout the day, your brain has been producing a chemical called adenosine. Think of it as your brain's fatigue meter. The longer you stay awake, the more adenosine builds up. The more it builds up, the stronger your desire to sleep becomes. It's one of the ways your brain protects itself from being overworked. But most people don't listen. They reach for caffeine, coffee, energy drinks, another espresso. Within minutes, they feel awake again. It almost feels like magic. Except, nothing has actually changed. Caffeine doesn't remove fatigue. It hides it. Imagine covering the fuel warning light in your car with a piece of tape. The warning disappears. The problem doesn't. That's exactly what's happening inside your brain. The exhaustion is still there. You just can't feel it as clearly anymore. And that's where the real danger begins. Because confidence starts rising, while performance quietly starts falling. You think you're concentrating, but you're rereading the same paragraph. You think you're learning, but very little is sticking. You think you're saving time, but your brain is becoming less efficient with every passing hour. Around midnight, you notice something strange. Small distractions become impossible to ignore. Your phone lights up. You immediately check it. Someone sends a message. You answer. You return to your work. Then another notification appears. Another quick scroll. Another video. Another search. 5 minutes become 20. 20 become 40. You tell yourself, you're procrastinating. The truth is more interesting. Your brain is slowly losing its ability to protect your attention. The longer you're awake, the harder it becomes to ignore things that don't matter. Everything starts competing for your focus. and your brain becomes worse at deciding what deserves it. This is why people pulling an all-nighter often feel incredibly busy, while accomplishing surprisingly little. They're constantly switching tasks, constantly reacting, constantly restarting. Not because they lack discipline, because their brain is becoming less capable of staying locked onto one thing. And the strangest part is, the night hasn't reached its most dangerous point yet. Because after another few hours, something happens that tricks millions of people into believing they're doing just fine, when in reality, their brain has already started working against them. Then it happens. You suddenly feel better. The exhaustion fades. Your mind feels strangely clear. You tell yourself, maybe I can actually do this. This is what many people call a second wind. And it's one of the biggest lies your brain will ever tell you. You're not recovering. You're compensating. To help you survive, your brain temporarily increases chemicals that keep you awake. One of them is dopamine. For a short time, your mood improves. Your motivation returns. You may even feel happier than you did a few hours ago. But there's a catch. Your confidence rises much faster than your judgment. This is why people make some of their worst decisions late at night. Buying things they don't need, sending messages they later regret, making promises they'll never keep, starting projects they'll never finish. Everything feels like a good idea, because the part of your brain responsible for self-control is slowly becoming less active. You don't become less intelligent. You become less careful. That's a dangerous difference. Then morning arrives. You haven't slept, but somehow you're still standing. You even think, maybe everyone exaggerates how bad all-nighters are. Unfortunately, this is exactly when your brain starts revealing the real cost. Imagine walking into an exam or an important meeting. You still remember facts, names, dates, definitions. But suddenly, you're asked a simple question. Not to repeat information, but to connect ideas, to solve a problem, to explain why something happened. And your mind goes blank. This surprises many people, because sleep doesn't just help you remember. Sleep helps you understand. Throughout the night, your brain normally transfers important memories from temporary storage into long-term storage. It organizes information, builds connections, removes noise, strengthens what matters. Without enough sleep, much of that work never happens. You collected information, but you never finish processing it. It's like downloading hundreds of files without ever installing them. The knowledge exists, you just can't use it properly. Stay with me, because memory isn't the only thing that's changing. Your emotions are changing too. After one sleepless night, your patience becomes shorter. Small problems feel bigger. Tiny frustrations become personal. Someone interrupts you. You overreact. Traffic feels unbearable. A simple mistake ruins your mood. Nothing around you became more stressful. Your brain simply became worse at controlling stress. Normally, the rational part of your brain helps calm emotional reactions. Sleep deprivation weakens that control. Your emotions become louder. Your logic becomes quieter. That's why arguments become more intense after a sleepless night. That's why anxiety often feels stronger. That's why exhausted people sometimes say things they wish they could take back. Their personality didn't suddenly change. Their brain temporarily did. Fortunately, one all-nighter usually isn't permanent. Most healthy brains recover surprisingly well after one good night of sleep. Your brain is incredibly resilient. It knows how to repair itself. The real danger begins when one all-nighter becomes a habit. Every deadline, every exam, every busy season, every weekend. Eventually, your brain stops receiving the recovery it depends on. That's when the hidden damage begins. Researchers link chronic sleep deprivation to a higher risk of depression, anxiety, diabetes, heart disease, obesity, weaker immunity, and long-term cognitive decline. But perhaps the biggest loss isn't measured in hospitals. It's measured in potential, because the best version of you is built while you sleep. Your focus, your creativity, your memory, your emotional control, your ability to learn, your ability to make wise decisions. None of them improve by stealing hours from the night. Have you ever pulled an all-nighter? Did it actually help you? Or did it make the next day even harder? Leave your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your experience. And if you're enjoying these psychology and neuroscience breakdowns, subscribe to Mr. No Excuses. Every week, we explore practical ideas that help you understand your mind, master your behavior, and make better decisions. Cold truth. Most people think an all-nighter gives them more time. It doesn't. It quietly trades tomorrow's brain for today's deadline. And if you keep making that trade, one day you'll realize you weren't running out of time. You were running out of the healthy brain you needed to build the life you wanted.